Hello everyone! Welcome again sa YouTube channel ko. This is another day of learning days na isi-share ko sa inyo ngayon. So, I really appreciate sa mga nag-views and nag-comments and those who message me regarding research. Okay? I really appreciate your effort, and I know that you really want to pass, na gusto nyo talaga na hindi kayo ma-disappoint sa final mark nyo. And I really appreciate your effort na gusto nyo maging maganda yung research nyo. So that's why I'm doing this. Kasi I've been there, I've been a student like you, and in my time, walang tumulong sa akin libre. Walang nag-comment sa akin na mali yung ginagawa mo kasi at that time, sa dami ng estudyante in one class, hindi kaya ng teacher to go one-on-one na maipoprovide ng teacher everything what you need or clarifications about what to do with your research. So, take advantage ko itong time na to kasi I want really to help mga estudyante na nangangailangan ng tulong when it comes to writing research. Dahil alam kong mahal ang bayad pag nag-internet cafe kayo. It's so hard to get in touch with your teacher, lalo na pag wala kayong signal o wala kayong wifi. So, I'm here willing to give you some of the best advice that I can share with you para matapos yung research niyo ng maganda. Okay, so for today specifically, i-discuss ko sa inyo kung ano yung some parts again ng research niyo. Because in the previous video, I did the theoretical framework, I did the ethical consideration, I did recommendation. Now today, iba yung isi-share ko sa inyo. I want to share with you kung paano isusulat niyo yung abstract. Okay? Kasi minsan, abstract, you know, when you say abstract, parang ang bilis lang. Kasi it's just an abstract, it's just almost like the summary of what you did for your research na ilalagay mo doon. And then sometimes nakakonfuse yung mga estudyante kung anong ilalagay nila doon. So, I'm going to give you the hints kung paano nyo isulat yung abstract nyo. Now, I want to give you an example of the topic, and then we're gonna go through what we're gonna be doing for your abstract, okay? Now, abstract composed of your objective. Anong purpose ba ng research mo? Bakit ka nagsusulat ng research? Ano talaga ang pakay mo? What is your really intention on writing this research? It could be one sentence, it could be two sentences, it could be three sentences. It depends sa klase ng research mo. So that's contained in the abstract. So number one is your objective or objectives. Second, method. A method can be only one sentence or two sentences. And how are you going to say the sentence in your abstract for your method? Let's say in this research, I am going to use descriptive method of research that I'll be able to describe or illustrate how students' behavior affect their way of learning. So that's just a simple sentence. You're using descriptive methods, blah blah blah. And what's next to this the method? The results. Okay. So for your result, so you're gonna base it from your method of research. So if you'll be using a survey, so i-state mo doon na for the results, I'll be doing tabulation and analysis for the result of the survey that I have created or distributed to, let's say, a group of young teenagers in the community. So, yun yung pinaka-results. Results, kasama na yung analysis, kasama na yung discussion. In your conclusion, if you did create hypothesis, meaning you have guessed what would happen after the research, doon mo ilagay yung conclusion mo or summary mo. It could be 2 or 3 sentences. na doon mo i-summarize kung ano yung nangyayari, did the questions that you were formulating before your research is being answered, ano yung result, are you satisfied with the result, are the participants satisfied with the result, and then next to that, you can also include, and I mentioned this before, kung ano yung isusulat nyo sa recommendation, if you do have any recommendation, or kung may proposal ka. So, to be honest, in an abstract for your research, it could be a one paragraph contains maybe 8 to 10 sentences, or it could be 2 paragraphs. So you don't have to elaborate so much on the abstract, kasi nga abstract talagang short way lang yun na parang sinamarize mo lahat ng ginawa mo doon sa research mo. So that's about abstract. Now I'm gonna cite a title that we can use. Let's say, for example, in this research, excuse me. So, I want to talk about fake news. Let's say I'm going to title this fake news. Okay, this is just very quick, okay? Because I haven't write anything. So let's say the impact of fake news in the population's mental health. Sounds complicated, right? It's not. Think about it. Even before the pandemic, we already have so much fake news, right? But some people are just ignoring it. And some people naniniwala sa fake news. Some people insisted, no, totoo talaga yung news na to, totoo. Without investigating carefully kung talaga bang totoo itong fake news na to. Now, because of my title, the impact, ganun bang sabi ko? The impact of fake news in a person's mental health, something like that. So again, I'm gonna cite the most important words in my title: the impact, fake news, mental health. So when you do your research on this, we know that fake news can affect our mental health. We know that because minsan may nababasa ka sa mga postings, sa mga kung ano-ano sa mga internet. Sometimes you feel pissed, you get stressed, you get mad, you get angry, you get confused. So ito yung mga feelings na na-experience mo kung didibdibin mo talaga kung ano yung sinusulat na nababasa mo. So, not realizing either this is a true news or this is a fake news. Now, think about fake news and the social media, and the news industry. Maraming mga reporters nowadays, maraming mga reports na nasusulat na minsan may mali, minsan they're not really have the full truth about what they're writing, at kung bakit, maraming dahilan. So, if you're going to be writing this type of research about fake news, about errors in the news industry, what are the impact of this psychologically? So I would suggest focus on the mental effect of the fake news. I-state mo muna yung ano yung mga, what are those fake news? And make sure you prove it na may sarili kang research on what are those. I-elaborate mo muna isa-isa yung mga, what are those? What are those errors in the news? What are those fake news that's out there? Na people get confused or people feel very sad, they're mad, they're angry, or they're anxious, or they're feeling fear about it. And when you have all these ideas na ilalagay mo doon sa related literature mo, make sure you use, again, I go back to my previous video, I use theoretical framework for this fake news topic that you have. And what you're gonna use. Again, remember I mentioned about Bandura? In a theoretical framework of Bandura, Bandura states that the people who are doing this fake news or experiencing the effect of fake news should be taught and receive step-by-step guidance, training to correct the behavior. This is Bandura's theory. So you can include this in your theoretical framework. Let's say in your related literature, you say, sa Tagalog lang ha, para maintindihan nyo talaga. So, let's say in your theoretical framework na nagre-research ka doon sa mga, let's say, just your kapitbahay. Anong experience ng mga kapitbahay mo pag nakarinig sila ng fake news and then later on, hindi pala totoo? So, anong feeling nila? So, yung bang, when they read the fake news, naniniwala ba kaagad sila? Did they affect them personally, mentally, or physically? So, what are the things that you can do na mabago yung behavior ng tao na yun? Of course, when you do, this is the intervention process, when you give them teaching, when you provide them education, kung ano talaga yung tama, na wag basta-bastang maniniwala. I know lahat ngayon ng mga tao almost depending on social media dahil nga mostly of them are at home because of the pandemic. So marami talagang kumakalat na fake news. To be honest, everywhere in the world, maraming nadadala na sa fake news. But fake news is not good, okay? Being professional, yes, it's important that we have to protect our license as professional, but to deliver fake news to the public through social media, it's not maganda. I always truly believe na sinasabing, there's always karma, either it's a good karma or a bad karma. Maraming mga writers, mga reporters who so many committed or lost their license because of how they're writing fake news. So they were not true to their work and they were not true to their profession. So it's very important that you include this. If you're writing this research, you have to have a theoretical framework that, supports the ideas that you shared, especially those related literature mo. Now, in the future, if you're gonna be doing some summary or in your discussion dun sa result, let's say, nag-interview ka lang ng mga kapitbahay mo. So, when you do a discussion, so feel free to voice out what you think about it. Okay? Feel free, and then make sure you follow up with what the scholar or the psychologist experts say about it para may support yung statement mo. So, I hope with the theoretical framework that I've mentioned, at sarili mong analysis na magkatugma yun. Make sure magkatugma because if there's any such contradiction, meaning hindi magkatugma, you have to have proof. Okay? Na hindi ka basta-basta naniniwala kung ano yung sinasabi. Let's say I'm a psychologist right now at sasabihin ko sa iyo na, hindi totoo na nagkaka-stress ang tao when it comes to fake news. You can do an argument on that. No, hindi totoo na ganito. So when you do argument doon sa paper mo, make sure you have evidence-based research na ito ang totoo, na talagang may mental side effect ang fake news in the person's mental health. And guess what? Yes, it does, based on research na people who are exposed to errors or fake news or social media coverage has been shown or proven to have poor mental health and have the symptoms of stress. And you know what? Sometimes when you're stressed, you cannot sleep, you get confused, you get anxious, and that could develop into depression. So it does. The person who committed errors can end up being punished, lost their license. So again, when you have that, you lost your license, you get punished, you lost your job. So what would happen to your mental health? So these are the things that you can include if you're doing research about fake news or errors in the social media industry or things that can really affect the person's mental ability. So I hope may natutunan na naman kayo today, and I'm really hoping na maintindihan nyo kung paano talaga step by step. And before I forget, if you're gonna be doing this research about fake news or errors in the in the news industry or agency, one of your objectives could be state you can use to analyze the news errors committed and to interpret the main implications of miscommunication in our society. So that could be your objective, and your method would be you can do survey in your kapitbahay, or you do online virtual interviews, and in your results, again, whatever the results, you analyze it, you discuss it, you can prove it, or you can do your own version of it, as long as you have your own research na maka-back up noon. So in your recommendations, so it's up to you. What did you think? What did you think after talking to the people? Anong mai-recommend mo? So kailangan talaga when you're reading some research in the internet, make sure those are really reliable research, that anyone could post anything in Google. Anyone can. But are they really reliable? So they have to make sure na alam nila kung ano yung gagawin, alam nila kung ano yung paniniwalaan, and we need to educate people on how not to believe right away sa mga fake news o mga